Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and I'm going to be doing a Memento deck profile. So I'm really excited to do this one for you guys because we just got an amazing new fusion monster for this deck, Memento Twin Dragon, which is such a powerful card and takes this deck to a whole new level. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. Again, your name is description in a single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month to your Patreon. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're playing a single copy of Combined Creation. This card is our main boss monster and is a crazy powerful card that cannot be normal summoned or set, and it must be special summoned from your hand or your graveyard by shuffling 5 other Memento monsters with different names from your hand or graveyard into the deck or the X deck. And while you control no other monsters, this card can attack all monsters that your opponent controls once each, and once per turn, if your opponent activates a card or effect, except during the damage step, you can special summon a Memento monster from your hand or grave, which is an awesome ability for this card to have, especially since this card comes out at 5,000 attack points. We then play a single copy of Memento Horned Dragon. Horned Dragon is really good as a one-of in the deck, but I feel like you don't really need any more than a one of this card. But it has a really cool ability, and if you have 3 or more Memento monsters with different names in your graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand. And if this card on the field is destroyed by a card effect, you can actually target up to 3 cards on the field, including a Memento card you control, and destroy them, which is a really cool effect to be able to pop cards on the field. We then play 3 copies of the Seahorse. This card is really awesome in the deck as a 3-up, as it has the ability, if you don't control any face-up monsters other than Memento monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand, making it a really good extender and combo piece in the build. It also has the ability, during your main phase, you can actually destroy a Memento monster that you control and send any number of Memento monsters with different names from your deck to the graveyard, whose total level is less than or equal to the destroyed monster's original level, which is a really cool effect to basically just pop one of your Memento monsters and then send a bunch of them to the graveyard so you can actually summon out Combined Creation. We then play 3 copies of Darkblade. Darkblade is such a cool card in this deck, and it's really cool that Darkblade was actually incorporated into this deck as a monster. It has the ability, if this card is normal or special summoned, you can actually discard a Memento card and then target a spell or trap that your opponent controls and destroy it. And during your main phase, you can actually destroy one of the Memento monster you control, and if you do, special summon a level 3 or lower Memento monster from your deck to your side of the field, which is a really cool effect to help us get to our copy of Anguish. Anguish is definitely a 3-of in the build, and this card is such a powerful card because if this card is normal or special summon, you can add a Memento monster from your deck to your hand, essentially being a Rhoda for the deck. This card also has the ability to let you target a level 2 or lower Memento monster in the graveyard, destroy a Memento monster that you control, and if you do, special summon the targeted monster, which is great to bring back a monster from the graveyard. We then play just a single copy of Gaddock, but Gaddock is just really good as a 1-of in the deck. I don't feel like you need any more than a single copy of this card, but it's a really good combo piece because if it's normal or special summon, you can target a Memento monster in the graveyard, accept a copy of Gaddock, and add it to your hand, and if this card is sent to the graveyard by Memento monster effect, you can special summon this card, which is a pretty cool ability. We then play 2 copies of Mace. Mace is really good as a 2-of in the build. I've actually cut this card down to 2 in the deck, and it has a really cool ability that during your opponent's main phase, if you control a copy of Combined Creation, quick effect, you can discard this card, target a face-up monster that your opponent controls, and take control of it until the end phase, and also, during your main phase, you can actually destroy a Memento monster you control, and if you do, add a Memento card from your deck to your hand. We then played 2 copies of Goblin. Goblin is an amazing combo piece in this deck. This card is one of the most powerful cards in the entire build, but I feel like 2 is really all you need because it's so easy to get to. It has the ability that during the main phase, if you control a copy of Combined Creation, quick effect, you can discard this card, and for the rest of the turn, your opponent cannot target Memento monster you control with card effects. Also, during your main phase, you can actually destroy a Memento monster you control, and if you do, send up to 2 Memento cards with different names from each other from your deck to the graveyard, except another copy of Goblin, which is a really cool effect to help you get your copy of Combined Creation to the graveyard so you can summon it back to your side of the field or get the exact card you need into the grave. We then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom's definitely a 3-of just to basically stop your opponent from touching the deck. We then play 3 copies of Effect Veiler. Effect Veiler is really good at just basically stopping your opponent's monster effects. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with a single copy of the Memento Field spell. This card is really good as a one-of in the build, but I feel like you just need a single copy of this card now. It's still amazing in the deck, but I feel like one is really all you need as a combo piece in this deck. We then play 3 copies of the new Memento Fusion. The Memento Fusion is really good at helping us step into a copy of Twin Dragon, and this card is an amazing combo piece, because during the main phase, you actually get to fusion summon a fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as material, including a Memento monster. And if a monster in your possession is destroyed by a card effect this turn, you can shuffle Memento monsters from your graveyard into the deck as materials, which is a really cool ability. It also has the ability during your main phase, you can actually banish this card from the graveyard to destroy one monster that you control, and if you do, add a Memento spell or trap card from your deck to your hand, which is a great effect to get to the exact card that you need. We then play 3 copies of Bone Party. Bone Party is an amazing 3-of in the build, and I absolutely love this card in the deck. It's such a cool card to be able to play in this build, because it has the effect that you get to destroy a Memento monster in your hand or face from field to be able to take a Memento monster from your deck with a different name and either add it to your hand or special summon it in defense position, which is a really awesome ability to get the exact monster that you need. Also, during your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard and then actually target a Memento monster you control, and if it attacks a defense position monster this turn, it inflicts piercing damage to your opponent, which is great to be able to do, especially with Combined Creation being at 5,000 attack points. We then play 3 copies of Pot of Prosperity. Prosperity is great because you don't need everything in the extra deck, so this card is really good at just helping us dig into the deck for the exact cards that we need. We then play 3 copies of Super Polymerization. Super Poly is just amazing this format, and it's just an awesome card at breaking your opponent's board. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get in to the traps. So for the traps, we're going to start with a single copy of Fracture Dance. Fracture Dance is a really good one-of in the deck, and as the ability if you control a Memento monster, you can target one other card on the field and destroy it. Then, if you control a copy of Combined Creation, you can destroy one more card on the field. And when an attack is declared involving your Memento monster and an opponent's monster, you can banish this card from the graveyard, and all monsters your opponent currently control lose 1,000 attack until the end of the turn, making it super easy to help you go in for game. We then play a single copy of Cranium Burst. Cranium Burst is one of the most powerful cards in the entire build because with Combined Creation, it makes it absolutely insane because it has the ability while you control a copy of a Memento monster, your opponent's monsters that can attack must attack the Memento monster you control with the highest attack. Their choice if it's a tie, meaning if you have Combined Creation on the field, they're going to have to attack into a 5,000 attack point monster. Also, when your opponent activates a monster effect on the field, except during the damage step, you can target one of your Memento Combined Creations you control, and it loses exactly 1,000 attack and defense points, and if it does, negate the activated effect. Which is a really cool ability because that's a once per chain effect, meaning you basically turn your copy of Combined Creation into an Appaloosa, which is absolutely crazy. I love that about this card, and it's just really a cool card in the deck. We then play 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Infinite Impermanence is amazing in the build as a 3-of just to stop your opponent's monster effects and also lock down entire columns of spells and traps. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get in to the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to start off with our new fusion monster, Twin Dragon, which we're actually playing 2 of. This card is really good as a 2-of in the build, just a really good combo piece that requires any 2 Memento monsters to make this card, and any monster destroyed by battle with your Memento monster is banished, which is really cool just to be able to deal with your opponent's field and get their cards banished. And if this card is fusion summoned, you can actually destroy a Memento monster in your hand or face it from field, and if you do, add up to 2 Memento monsters with different names from your deck to your hand. And if this fusion summon card is destroyed, you can actually special summon Memento monsters to your side of the field from your graveyard, which is a really cool ability just to instantly bring back monsters to your side of the field. I absolutely love this card as a 2-of in the deck. It's just a really powerful combo piece in the build. We then play a single copy of Guardian Chimera. Guardian Chimera is great in the deck as 1-of because it's very easy to summon with your copy of your quick play spell during your opponent's turn. As long as you use a Memento monster to be able to fusion summon, you can actually fusion summon using it, which is really cool to be able to go into a copy of Guardian Chimera, one of my favorite fusion monsters in the entire game. We then play a single copy of Garua and a single copy of Mud Dragon. These cards are just really good in the deck to be able to use for super poly targets. You can play more super poly targets in the deck, but I feel like these are the best ones to be able to play. We then play a single copy of Access Code Talker just to be able to pop multiple cards in the field, and it comes out absolutely massive. Play a single copy of Appaloosa. Appaloosa is just a really good option overall because you get multiple negates on your side of the field with this card. Play a single copy of Nightmare Unicorn to spin stuff. 1 copy of Selene, so we can step into a copy of Access Code extremely easily, especially if we have like 3 spells in the graveyard. It's very easy to bring back a copy of a spellcaster to our side of the field, and then basically climb into Access Code. We then play a single copy of the Dark Charmer. Dark Charmer is just really good to help us link climb. 1 copy of SP Little Knight. If you don't have this card, you can change it out for a copy of Nightmare Phoenix, but it's still a really good option because it is a double interruption. We then play a single copy of IP Masquerena. IP is great in the deck as a 1-of to basically just make this card and then step into your copy of your SP Little Knight or your copy of Unicorn during the opponent's turn. We then play a single copy of Crawl Sheep because we do fusion summon a lot in this deck, so we can use its crazy powerful effect to bring back a level 4 lower monster from the graveyard if we do fusion summon, which is great about this card. We then play a single copy of Salaman Great Alamirage. Alamirage is really good just to give us a little bit of protection. And then finally, we play a single copy of Relinquished Anima. Relinquished Anima is just a good option to gobble up opponent's monsters. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed. This deck is super fun to be able to play. I absolutely love Memento, and it's just going to keep getting crazy support. It's really cool because this deck is actually based on a bunch of old school monsters. Like, this is actually Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon, which is absolutely insane. And I love that about this deck, that it actually has so many cool old school vanilla monsters turned into really awesome monsters. So that's gonna do it for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of Notification Squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.